CMV, paternity testing before signing a birth certificate shouldn't be stigmatized and should be as routine as cancer screenings. Didn't we just have this discussion? Is this the same op as a couple days ago? Cancer screening is something you do yourself to test your body. A paternity test is something that is done to another person to check their fidelity. Those are inherently different things. A marriage in which one partner doesn't trust the other one not to cheat is not a marriage a child should be brought into in the first place. Do we really want to live under the assumption that all women are cheaters unless proven otherwise? That sounds like a good way to build resentment too. This is entering parenthood with inherent distrust between two parents. How is that in the best interest of the child? What about in cases where the father assuming father responsibilities in signing the birth certificate isn't the sperm donor? Is that man not allowed to be a father to the child he's planning to raise with his wife just because it wasn't his seed? Not all non-biological paternal relations indicate infidelity. Just like in all parts of life, it's not all black and white. I think a man should legally have an obligation to let the woman know he wants a test before she gives birth so she can decide if she wants him in the room during delivery or not. If he's unsure about the child, he can wait outside for the said child unless she says otherwise. Too many men like to bully their way into a delivery even when the woman is uncomfortable. I think this could be beneficial to get both paternity and maternity tests, to not get the wrong baby. How would you feel if any time a woman close to you had a baby your partner asked for a paternity test to ensure it's not yours? Your female coworker just had a baby? Paternity test to make sure it's not yours. Your sister-in-law just had a baby? Oops, better check and make sure it's not yours. Your female best friend just had a baby? You better get the test to guarantee it's not yours. Delete it. Greater than it's ultimately worse for the child to have a resentful father that stays only out of legal and financial responsibility, than to not have one at all. You think this won't happen if the child's theirs? A lot of guys who want a paternity test are hoping for negative results. This is a waste of medical resources. Those tests are taking time and materials away from actual urgent medical needs. 98% of couples have no suspicion about paternity and they are right not to. I'm not going to waste money and baby blood on a test when my kid comes out looking exactly like me. Can't the man just ask for a test if there's tension? Why do we need it to be routine? I don't think most men are under the assumption that their child is not theirs. If my husband ever seriously asked for a paternity test, I'd do it and then divorce him. I'd never ever cheat on him, but I couldn't forgive such a lack of trust. You state why it's important to you. Why should it be important to the rest of society? It's the equivalent to sniffing your monstick every day after work shouldn't be stigmatized. Ha ha ha. A lot of people don't know how many families 23andMe destroyed over the holidays and it shows. It shouldn't be stigmatized if that's what those people want. However, it should always be an option not required and a conversation between the parents. It's no one else's concern besides those two parties. Signing a birth certificate isn't the same commitment in every state. Each state has different requirements that establish parentage. Your post provides inaccurate information in order to try to bias individuals toward your opinion. Think it would be better to more accurately diagnose the child for any potential health problems if they know for certain who the parents are. Plus, I have been lied to and almost was stuck with a child that would not have belonged to me. Fortunately for me, she did the right thing and came forward. Getting a DNA test could increase your insurance premiums both for the father, child, and mother, depending on what other risky markers are found across the two tests. Similarly, those DNA samples will end up in police databases and affect the privacy not only of those tested, but their distant relatives. I think in this scenario, the person to suffer the most would be the vulnerable baby. Might cause a fair amount of dead babies just because you gave the parents something to fight about as soon as the baby is born. The legal goal here isn't to give fathers peace of mind. It's to provide support for children, and the law should be based on their best interest. I don't see how mandatory paternity tests would benefit children. Do a lot of women in committed relationships cheat that much? Or much more get pregnant by other men? I don't think it's such a big percentage that should influence society on such a big scale. Especially since men cheat more than women statistically. I really want to see some statistics about it. Birth certificates are not enforceable court documents apparently. Someone could be listed on the birth certificate and have no legal rights to the child, for example, a child conceived by sperm donation. I don't know all the details, but it's not as cut and dry as it may seem. If paternity is such a concern of yours, I think you need to reevaluate your relationships. For a great majority of us, there's absolutely no question whatsoever, and the rest would do nothing for us, and I'd find it insulting and a waste of time and money.